Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Build Reuse Wiki, this webinar to launch the developments for this activity. I'm Melissa Wenzel. I will be the moderator today as well as co-presenter. And I am really excited about this tool. So here in Minnesota, I'm the Built Environment Sustainability Administrator at the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, our environmental state agency. Super excited about this tool, and I'll tell you why in just a second. First, what we're going to cover today is, reasons why some of us are really excited about this tool, how it got started, and we'll also give you an overview of how this tool works. We'll share with you, why we think this tool will be helpful for you, and then allow plenty of time for question and answer. So joining me today in this webinar is Allison Arata. Oh, I wish I could restart. Joining us today is Allison Arata, Yarden Harari, Luna Oya, and myself. So we're going to co-present today, and really excited to do so. So again, in Minnesota, we have a lot of different tools that we've been creating, and a lot of those tools we've been learning from others throughout our creation. So sometimes we feel like we're reinventing the wheel, not knowing who else has built some great tool like a deconstruction ordinance template or a diversion requirement. And so there's a lot of opportunities where information can get added to this tool so that people that are new to this industry don't have to recreate documents, or they can find out if something's been created and take that copy and make it their own. So for those of us that are a bit more seasoned into this industry, it's sort of like our duty to make sure that we give the information to others. And this is a really great and easy way to do this. And here in Minnesota, we're creating more tools that we're just starting to plan for. So those are tools that we can add in kind of a work in progress or in a final state so that others can benefit from it as well. So this tool is a wiki platform. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are familiar with that. And it'll be a place where there's going to be structured content that you can add. The caveat to that is those that are a Build Reuse member can directly add to this tool. Others may request it to be added, and they'll have to wait until we can get it added. There's also going to be a forum section where people can make announcements, ask questions. They're not sure how to put something into the wiki, or they're looking for something and can't find it. Those are some great tools that really allow for really quick collaboration efforts that make it easy for everybody. And of course, the general public will be able to view this wiki. It's just that not everybody will have access to edit. And if you would like to have access, if you're not a member, first become a member. And then if you are a member, reach out to info@buildreuse.org. And you can request to be added. The benefit of people requesting access now is the more people who join, the more useful the tool will be quickly. And this is a pilot project, so this tool will be reevaluated at the end of 2023. And so by joining the wiki in the forum now, you're supporting the project's growth and continuation. So how did this idea come about? Even I remember at the 2019, the last in-person Build Reuse conference, that a lot of us recognized that we have a lot of information and no good way to share it, even in our times of economic or online tool systems. So this was something that was thought of about 4 years ago and has been a work in progress. And so in able to share information, we can start to share data, track data, help make cases for certain initiatives to be included, and generally just in general, just to support this industry. So again, a lot of members of Build Reuse, myself included, had requested this particular tool to be created. And so we have a platform that's called allanswered.com that's hosting the wiki forum in the forum. So there's a lot of great opportunities for it, and it will continue to grow and be modified as more content is added. So a few of us have had some internal discussions about, well, what about this heading, or should this be a separate page? That's something that will get worked on over time. So now I'd like to hand it off to Luna, who will actually give us a demonstration of how the tool works and how content can be added. Luna, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Melissa. So first, introduction to myself to those who don't know me. In my day job, I'm an embodied carbon consultant at Brightworks Sustainability. And within Builder Use, I am a board member and also the chair of the Data and Policy Committee. And I have been the primary person working on this Wiki forum tool. I'm going to share my screen. And I guess I want to say that I was inspired to start this again because over the past year or two, I've been talking to a lot of folks in the space, sitting in on meetings for several different regional networks, sending and receiving resources over email, bookmarking things, and then realizing that people are sometimes asking for resources that already exist because they aren't aware of them. And that got me thinking about creating a central place for this information to be stored. And it's been about 1 year since this idea came about, and I've been very happy with the progress, but more to come. Again, this is a work in progress. And now I'm going to talk you through both of these tools. So to begin with, I just want to show you how to access the public view of the wiki through the Builder Use website. You can go to builderuse.org and click on Resources, Builder Use Wiki, and then scroll down to Access Wiki. And that will get you to this page. You can share it with other people, as with any website, by copying the link and then pasting it somewhere else. And click through the different pages to get an understanding of what is included. I can walk through the content really briefly. The content in here right now is primarily the resources that I know, plus a few resources added by other members of the Data and Policy Committee or that were emailed to me. But the point of the wiki is so that other people can edit. And again, if you request access through the info@builderuse.org emails, you can receive a link to the backend and be able to edit. Yeah, so we have an About the Builder Use Wiki page, brief history of the wiki, a section on why deconstruct and reuse. So this is essentially a couple pages on making the case for reuse from an embodied carbon perspective, public health and safety perspective, culture and heritage, and there are a couple other bullet points here. You can see that it's still a little bit sparse, but with more users, we'll have more content. We have a section on what it means to have a circular building sector, a couple circular design tools, and then a case study section with deconstruction policies, deconstruction projects, case studies in specific projects, examples of projects that have design for disassembly features and that have reused materials, a couple guides, some general guides, and then also some guides on how to develop deconstruction policies, how to deconstruct a building project, how to reuse structural materials, how to design for disassembly. And then we also have sections on reuse store maps and databases. So I think the most well-known of these is the All for Reuse ecosystem map. And that's linked here, but there are also a couple others, including the Polis map, which is based primarily in Europe, the Cortland reuse map, reuse wood, and a number of others. We also have here a page on deconstruction and reuse networks. These are regional networks with regular meetings. And the idea is eventually for the Data and Policy Committee and anyone interested in contributing to help populate this information about descriptions, topics of focus, frequency of meetings, just making these meetings more accessible to more people. Use outlets. And then we also have a page on conference and webinar materials. Currently, the only thing on here is the Troy Deconstruction Summit recording and notes. So that is the wiki, and I want to walk through the editing process. So again, once you request access, you will receive a link to the backend of the wiki, and the wiki backend looks something like this. In order to access this, you will have to make an all answered account. But once you log in, you can stay logged in through your computer. I haven't had to re-sign in at all. Once you get here, you can click on the Build Use General Community to get to the main dashboard. And to get to the wiki, you just click on Pages. You may need to adjust the browser. I've noticed that if the window is too small, or if this divider line in the middle is too thin on this side, for example, then you won't be able to access all the features. So that's just something I wanted to note here. And to navigate the pages, again, very similar to how you navigate on the public access version. You just click through like this. The sidebar is a table of contents. And then in order to edit, just pick a random page, just deconstruction policies page, for example. All you have to do is click Actions, Edit Page, and this pop-up appears. From here, you can type text as with any word processing software. No coding involved, just type the text. You can insert images, you can add tables, add links, you can format by bolding, italicizing, indenting, etc. And you'll notice that when I highlight the text, there are options to format, add links, and also clear formatting, which is really helpful when you copy paste from a different source. And then you click Save. And that's pretty much it. It's really pretty simple. And cancel this for now. Okay. I also wanted to go through some of the other options in this Actions dropdown. Adding a child page just means adding a subpage underneath the page that you're currently on. You can follow a page or unfollow a page, so you get notifications every time somebody makes a change on that page. There's a workflow option, and you can request verification. And what that means is that you can request that specific individuals, or I guess generally you can ask the admin of the page to verify a page if you see something that looks off. And currently this wiki is set up so that once you save a change, those changes show automatically in the public access version. But as more and more people are onboarded, we will most likely be implementing a process where people, the Data and Policy Committee and individuals within Build Use who are managing the wiki will have to review and approve changes before they get posted. And if you are trying to do anything more detailed than what I just described, there's a little Help Center button at the very top here, and you can click through and better understand how All Answered works. So that's the wiki in a nutshell. And now I am going to go through the forum. So to get to the forum, you click on Builder Use General to get to the main dashboard again. And this time you click on Posts instead of Pages. And here you can see all the different posts that have been made. This is all me so far. I'm just kind of just testing it. Everything in here right now is content from emails in my inbox related to reuse. If you open a post, for example, you'll see the heading, see the content of the post. You'll be able to add comments and respond to the post. And again, you'll be able to follow news, so follow the post and get notifications if you're interested in following a specific post. Going back to posts, that was an example of an announcement type post. You can also create polls. Poll will look like this, very similar with a heading, content. I made a very simple poll here, asking who's attending the conference in February. And you can cast your vote here or have people answer questions that you put up in the forum. And then you can also just ask questions. And when you ask questions, there's a little answer box where people can type and submit their answers. So that was how to view posts in the forum. To create a post, you click on actions and then either create a question, poll, idea, or news. I'm not sure that there's much of a difference between the idea or news. That's something to explore maybe in the future. When you create a post, it looks something like this, very simple title, and then tags. The way that tags works is that you can create a little, a tag is basically like a keyword. So for example, if you are posting about a webinar that's relevant to New York State, you can type that in the title. And then, oops, sorry, that was not meant to be. Try to go back. Webinar shows you similar content, but you can add tags and note within the post that this is a post relevant to New York State and that it is a webinar. The reason that these little drop-down options are popping up is because these are tags that were used for other posts in the Build Use forum so far. And then you type in your content and then you press post. I'm not going to do that right now, but I just want to show why these tags are helpful. If you go to the Build Use General, the main dashboard again, you'll notice that on the side there's a little tag list, and you can click on the list and get all the posts that have that New York State tag. Or you can click on a webinars tag and look at all the posts that are about webinars. So I think this is a really helpful way of searching for past information and revisiting topics that other people posted. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for this demonstration. And I'm going to pass along to stop my share and pass along to Melissa, Allison, and Yarden to talk a little bit more about how people can engage with the wiki and the forum. But feel free to ask questions in the chat, comments, anything like that. Thank you.
So I'm happy to start. Luna, this is amazing. And if you guys haven't seen this yet, just a really great resource. And I'll just kind of add on from like my perspective of what I think is great about this tool. And I've worked on the all for reuse map. And so a big goal of ours is to kind of, that was a microcosm probably of the wiki of just, it's keep digging deeper and you keep finding resources that people have worked on. And so it's really a way to highlight all of the work that other people have done and bringing it to a centralized place so that we can have that kind of single source of truth and also really build out this field as it's just starting to gain traction, I think, in the like mainstream commercial architecture AEC kind of construction engineering industry, whereas it's been around obviously for a long time and people have been at it for years and decades. And where we've seen more success in residential, it's great to now be able to just try to apply this and standardize and scale based on the knowledge of everyone that's already been doing it. So I'll just kind of leave off with, as an architect and sort of advisor to project teams from a sustainability standpoint, it's really helpful to be able to see what's out there and who's out there that can kind of help us do the work. If we're putting it on paper, kind of who can help it happen, make it happen in real life when it comes to reuse, deconstruction, and what's out there to make it easier. So very excited about this resource and to add to it and to use it and learn from everything that's in there and all the people that can add their expertise.
And I'll add a little bit of how I'm thinking that I'm going to use it to sort of maybe help everyone think about how they can engage. So I was on the board of Builder Use and I was the secretary. So I saw so many, I sort of felt like the repository of information for like events and people and networks and all the emails that would come in and all the questions. And so I'm really excited to like dump all that knowledge into this wiki and like make it available to all the members at once. So I'm like, some of the things that I'm particularly like, oh, I definitely know that I can add to the policy examples, or I definitely know I can add to like the preservation and reuse sort of like rationale. So I think if everyone thinks about like what their own sort of area of expertise is and what they have a lot of resources on, and adds that in, that would be very, very helpful. And then I also think this is going to be a really great place for like one of the biggest, like I still get lots of emails about people just interested in reuse and wondering like who to talk to, like what's been done. And I'm really excited to be able to refer them to the wiki instead of, pulling through all of my random links and PDFs and bookmarks to send to everyone. So I think this is going to be a really exciting tool, and I'm excited to see so many of you on here. I know, like, for example, Sean Wood, you are a repository of information as well. So excited to hopefully get you guys up and running in the wiki.
I'll echo what Allison said. I feel really guilty when I know something that other people should know. And yes, I can send an email, but the list of connections I have is about 400. And I also maintain a formal newsletter that go out to 3,000. But what if I want to send something that people can have access to rather quickly? Or it's available when they want to read it, not when I'm telling them about it. And so the wiki really will help with that. And also, I remember how it felt to be new in this industry. I joined this work about a month before the 2019 conference, a month and a half. And it was just really overwhelming in a really good way. I was very pleasantly surprised by the people who are in this work as well as the work that they're doing. But it's like, where do you start? Whether you're a state agency or a nonprofit or a deconstruction organization or a reuse center, how can you be the most successful organization that you can be in this arena? And so I'm just excited that information sharing can happen in a fairly succinct way. So that's one reason why I'm really looking forward to it. And also, both the Alpha Reuse Ecosystem Map and Matrix, as well as this tool, will help us to use consistent terminology, which also came up at the 2019 conference, that other used entities, organizations or businesses like housing stock or either automobile or automobile parts have all been standardized and kind of consistently using terminology that's consistent. And that's not the case in this arena, that we still kind of use somewhat different terms: deconstruction, scrapping, skimming, decommissioning, things like that. So, and it's fine. We can certainly use the words that fit our narrative that we want, but to be able to have a standard and a document that reflects those standards, I think that'll be super helpful.
And maybe just to that point, actually, is that as those standards are developing, like both these resources are really malleable, and that's part of the strength, is the goal that they will evolve as kind of we work together to decide what the right words are, decide what the definitions are, and then those resources can adapt to reflect that. And I think that's going to be really helpful as we keep moving forward.
I agree.
Thank you all. So the long-term vision is that the Data and Policy Committee will have a dedicated subcommittee to oversee the wiki and to help maintain it, to keep it organized and structured and easy to navigate, and also to give a voice to people on what pages get built out month to month. I also wanted to note that I believe a recording of this webinar will be sent out to all registrants. I'm also putting together a more concise training video so that people don't have to rewatch this whole webinar to understand how the wiki works. And I will be giving an update on this project at the in-person conference in February. With that, I think, Paula, could you send the poll? Yes, thank you. And I think Melissa had an announcement about upcoming webinars.
I do. I just want to jump in first that I was going to say the same thing Yarden did to Bill's question, is that we actually had a discussion, quite a few of us, about the all for reuse map, about wanting to be more inclusive and run the risk of maybe needing to scramble to organize some content. But inclusivity and broad terminology is, I think, the name of the game. So yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I do have an announcement. This is one of many workshops that are coming up that is being hosted by Build Reuse. And just one sec, as my screen froze temporarily. I lost the email I was looking for, unfortunately. So one thing that people have been asking for is to have more opportunities to engage with Build Reuse on a more frequent basis. Obviously, these tools will be doing that, but that today's webinar is actually a first in a series of talks leading up to the Build Reuse annual conference, which will be held in Savannah, Georgia, February 12th through 14th. So next month, the webinar series will continue with a focus of funding opportunities for social enterprises in the Build Reuse network. So it'll feature REDF, that acronym I had to look up, and I can share the organization link in chat in just a second. But REDF, a venture organization that invests in businesses that reveal and reinforce the talented people breaking through barriers to employment. Webinar participants will get to hear about the opportunities to be a part of REDF programming, as well as highlights from one of REDF's grantees in the Build Reuse network. If you employ people in your business that face barriers to work, or if you would like to learn how to make that a reality, join us next month. Stay tuned for more details in the next Build Reuse newsletter.
Thank you. Are there any questions in the chat that I missed? Bill asks, is the focus strictly reuse or can it extend to repurposing? Use might mean salvaged as a door, use it as a door. Repurpose might mean salvaged as blown insulation, repurposed as spill control absorbent. I think we can extend it to repurposing as well.
Yeah, I think the idea is for the wiki to be a sort of, I guess not expansive as possible, like, but definitely err on the side of including and being very expansive, because we do have all these great other resources that are more narrow and more focused. So this pulls all the narrow into a wider pool.
And then Brandy asks, are there still openings to submit applications to present at the conference in February? I believe yes. And Paula, could you speak, or Melissa, could you speak more to this?
We did. We jumped in chat to say yes, and I'm
Awesome.
just
Okay,
throwing the link in. I have to still submit an ID myself. So it's open through September 1st, I think. Is that correct, Paula? I should just look at the link because I think it says.
Yes, that's correct. This is Mike. I think the deadline for submissions is September 1st.
It is.
So
Sorry, I couldn't.
between now and September 1st.
Great. Anybody else have questions?
Yes, get your submissions in.
Yeah, September 1st, and we'll notice on October 1st. So we will get you in there. I was looking for the link. I'll get the link in there. Oh, Melissa already did it. Follow Melissa's link to the Google Doc. And thank you, Brandy, for getting us to remind everybody.
So with the build reuse question, the first poll question, are you currently an active build reuse member? We have 30% say yes, 20% saying unsure, 43% saying no, but I'm interested in becoming one. So Paul, if you want to make a little blurb about that, share a blurb.
Right.
And I can also throw into chat where to become a
I'm
member.
gonna put it in the chat.
Thanks.
Link.
Okay, if there are no other questions, I think we can wrap up. Thank you all so much for coming to this. And Paula, I just want to make sure that this chat will be saved.
The chat, well, you know what? I'm going to save it manually as well because it was supposed to be recording and it did not. So let's just, before we close out, I'll get a backup on that as well.
Who has content that they want to share like right now? I'm not saying you have to share it, but does somebody have content? Like me, for example, we struggle to be able to get content on our own state agency's website. So there's a lot of tools that I'm going to be uploading that we've created that we think will be helpful for others. And we'll probably get feedback and make it even better.
I think the second question in the poll is helpful for gauging that. It seems like half the people on this call have said that they would like to contribute resources to the wiki. So
Yeah,
good number. Yeah.
I'm trying to get to the second one. I'm not sure how to do that.
I might be able to do that.
Thank
Am I sharing? Yes. Do you guys see that? No, wait.
I don't.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, it's short-lived.
read fast, everyone.
Paula, did you get the chat? You're muted,
Is the-
Paula.
Is the wiki page also a place where the prior conference content can be posted? I think that's a really great idea. That's sort of what you were getting at, right, Luna, with the conference page?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's something we might want to discuss internally to figure out how to do that, but sounds like a great idea to me.
And Sean, we're going to need every single thing that's in your head to go into the wiki. So if you have a better way to do that, or if you want some of us to help, I know, right?
I'm gonna try copying the chat as well.
Yeah, Luna, see if you can save it because I know you can save it locally and I said that people could, but I'm not finding a control down here.
I saved it too, just in case.
Thank you,
Okay.
Yana. I can find the save chat part.
It's like the three dots all the way on the bottom, like under your chat box.
Yeah,
No, not seeing it.
no, it says chat. It'll open it. Isn't that weird? Oh, there it is. Found it. Okay, saved, Luna.
Awesome, thank you.
It just wasn't where I expected it to be.
It's very good.
Well, I'm excited for us to be able to present this another time, if not before the national conference next year. At the conference, we'll have a lot of content to share, and we'll have the ability to share who's been including content.
And a big thank you to Luna, as always, for spearheading this.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
No, this is game changing. I mean that. Thank
I'm
you.
glad. Yeah.
We'll see you all at the next webinar or at the conference.
Yeah, sounds good.
Have a great rest of your
Thank
day.
you all. Bye.